Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Jake and Justin in the morning. Please welcome our guest, the secretary of the Sacred Heart University Sports Media Club, Robert Finizio. Robbie, how are you?
Guys, I'm doing great. I love the energy you guys got. I mean, I was just saying before I hopped on this Zoom and I thought I had a virus. I don't know what was going on. You had some kind of game playing on my screen's getting moved around. So I'm here for it. I'm excited to be here.
Okay. Let me inform the audience. All right, so Justin, because we jumped on a little bit early before Robbie joined. So there's this weird game he plays called Friday Night Funkin'. So it's kind of like Guitar Hero, but like really weird creatures.
It's like Dance Dance Revolution. If everybody played that game, it's like the notes are like arrows.
There's a lot of arrows, yeah.
And he starts sharing a screen with me, so I'm like, guy, Robbie's gonna be really confused, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it. And then Robbie jumps on, and he was confused.
I had no idea.
It was bizarre. Anyway, Robbie, here's the golden question: what did you have for Breck?
I mean, listen, the whole situation. I've watched the clip a couple times, and I go back and forth with it because hockey's one of those sports, man. Fighting's allowed, so obviously, I mean, what he did was a little iffy, but I mean,
wait, we asked you what you had for breakfast.
I thought you were talking about the Brock Wilson fight. See,
no,
we're already off to a bad start, dude. Look at it. I can't. This Zoom, like I. Who says Breck? Who says Breck? When did that start?
I put that in the Urban Dictionary.
Breck.
I invented that term.
All right, so okay, I'll answer that question because Jake was looking at me like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I was like, "All right, what did I do?" Okay, Breck, I had oatmeal. If that's what you're asking about breakfast, that was oatmeal. See, they're laughing. They're literally laughing.
Oh my god! All right, but in all seriousness, I like to hear that you had Breck. As Justin, I actually did not have multi. Wait, did I have multigrain Cheerios? No, I did not. I did not have multigrain Cheerios this morning. I had a bagel and some waffles.
I mean that is a good combination. However, I need to say right now, waffle is the inferior of the pancake.
It is. Well, unfortunately, they do not have pancakes at the market. I'm sorry.
That is true. They do not have pancakes, but when they do, we will get those.
Well, I actually would say that my power rankings actually have French toast at number 1, but that's iffy because a lot of people are like, oh, there's eggs in that, like, it's weird. But I say French toast, waffle, pancake, like that's one of my 1, 2, 3 for sure.
French toast has to be made right, or else it sucks.
Oh, that I agree.
You can botch it. There is some forgiveness. You have kind of an area of kind of moderately screwing up a waffle or a pancake, and it'll still taste amazing.
That's true. Pancakes are like probably the easiest thing to cook.
Yeah. The only reason why I put pancakes above waffles is specifically because pancakes are more versatile. You can put more stuff in them. And then on top of that,
waffles you got to throw stuff on top.
That's true. Exactly.
The
you can make something in the pancake. You can put something in the pancake, and on top of that, when it comes to a waffle, you have to eat it there, or else it's cold.
Oh, that's very true. Pancakes, they will stay hot. I mean, hotcakes, they literally stay hot for a while. You put a little cover on top of them, they'll say. A waffle loses its integrity in like less than an hour.
It does. It gets a little soggy.
French toast is like that too. French toast is like that too.
French toast is like that. Is like that. The guys gotta pull up to New Jersey during Christmas time. My mom makes a nice French toast. Use some of that good challah bread.
So my family for Easter, it's actually a French toast casserole. It's got more of a casserole style where there's a little more sugar in it, a little more like corn syrup or something like that. So it feels more like a pie or like a casserole.
Was it's put in like a tray? It's put in one of those deep trays. That's how my mom makes it as well. She puts some stuff in it.
That's something that you have to make right, or it's just not going to be good. It's going to be too bready.
Absolutely. Anyway, for breakfast for me, I had a coffee. That's just how we roll.
You did not, Justin. You did not eat till 12:30 tonight.
It's called brunch. called brunch.
Oh, brunch is canceled too. No brunch. Who does brunch? Come on. Who's
You'd be
what
surprised.
You had lunch.
brunch?
You had
Brunch?
lunch today. Did you
There's
even have a bagel
eating.
today, Justin?
No, I didn't have a bagel today, but I had something called a cup of coffee. That-
That's
Does that
not
count as a
food.
breakfast? Is
Not-
coffee a breakfast?
That's not a food. It also knows at 12:30.
All right, well, you'd be surprised. Anyway, we have a great show for you guys today, so let's get started, Jake.
Let's talk about what Robbie thought we were jumping right into before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about the issue with Artemi Panarin of the Rangers and Tom Wilson of the Washington Capitals. So if you guys missed it, the other day, New York Rangers and Washington Capitals were playing a game, and Tom Wilson, obviously, he's got, by the way, he's in my background, like crying on the ice because he's injured or something. I don't know. I just looked up Tom Wilson injured in Google because as you can tell, he's not my favorite player, and I just went with that. So anyway, the other day, the Rangers and Capitals are playing the game. For those of you that don't know, don't follow hockey, Tom Wilson has gotten a reputation of being an extremely dirty player. He's probably one of the dirtiest players in the NHL. If you don't live in Washington, you hate this guy. The guy is he can play. He's a decent player, but he's a very, very dirty player. So what he did, Artemi Panarin, the star player on the Rangers, after the whistle, he picks him up, body slams him, then starts punching him and wrestling him on the ground while he's down. And somehow, some way, because George Parros, whatever his name is an absolute joke. The guy who runs the Department of Safety, and the commissioner Gary Bettman's no better. For this, Tom Wilson, the guy who's been suspended multiple games 5 different times, and he's got a bad reputation. And this was a heinous act, kind of similar to the Myles Garrett situation for the Cleveland Browns of football. He did not get suspended at all, and only got fined $5,000. Robbie, what do you think about the situation?
Assault. Just like there's like a line between like a good gritty hockey player and then just going on that to like literally like just trying to injure like other players and other teams. And like, I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, and obviously the biggest thing is it's not his first time. Like if it's like, 1-2 times in his career, like, all right, like, maybe he got a little too angry, but like it's pretty consistent now. And he gets a lot of coverage. Like we're seeing all the stuff he's doing. And like, to me, like when I do watch hockey, like I obviously like to see, a lot of hits and, a lot of big plays. That's what hockey's about. I mean, that's why, the fighting is the cool aspect of the game. But I think he takes it to a step where, it's like, it's the opposite of entertaining. It's kind of like scary to watch. I mean, as much as, you want to see a guy get hit, you don't want to see him get hurt and, out for the rest of his career. But I don't like what he does, and the reprimanding for him is ridiculous. I think the fact that he hasn't, gotten like a year suspension or just not, I don't think he should be playing right now. He's hot. He's like he's been fired up. You gotta, if you're like you talking about the guy who's in charge of safety. I mean, when the flame is hot, you gotta blow it out. You gotta let him cool off. Give him a couple games off. Make him want to act right. Make him want to, clean his act up. But they're giving him an inch and he's taking a mile, which I don't like.
Justin, what are your thoughts on this issue?
My first question is Roger Goodell also the commissioner of the NHL? Because the way they handled this was absolutely terrible. I don't care what sport people are fans of, NBA, MLB, NHL, and NFL. It's just the normal thing you don't like to see is dirty play, especially after this. So when I heard about this, I had to see this replay in slow motion. And let me tell you, if Tom Wilson hit Panarin in the right spot, Panarin probably wouldn't even be allowed to play hockey anymore. He'd be dead probably, or if not critically injured, because he could have hurt his head. And for him to get fined only $5,000 after he's been suspended, 5 times? Get out of the league.
Yep.
Seriously, you should not be allowed to play hockey anymore, especially after after pulling such an act like this to where it could have been potentially a head injury, which out of all things, head and spine is certainly two parts of the body that you don't want to screw around with ever. That is a low blow. Hitting somebody in the groin is better than hitting somebody in the head or spine, because you could kill them hitting it there. I think it's abysmal. I think it's unfair. I think it's atrocious. And by the way, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't the Rangers fined $250,000 for like ranting about it?
New York Rangers put out a statement saying that this is disgusting, and that the George Paros, the guy who runs a player safety, is unfit to continue in his job. Remember thinking one incident that's kind of cowardly. This is not the first time this guy is screwed up. This George Paros is a complete joke.
Yeah.
It's a complete joke. For the next time on April, want to hear an April Fool's Day joke next time? That April Fool's Day, all you gotta do is pull a picture of George Paros. The guy is a complete joke. He is a waste of space in our society. This was a disgrace to Earth. Okay, the National Hockey League should be embarrassed. They should be disappointed and embarrassed. This guy should not be in the league anymore. This guy is going to kill somebody one day. This guy is like 6'6", 220. This guy is a big guy. He picks on these guys that are not tough, are not that big. This guy is going to kill somebody. He's a decent player. At the very least, he can play. He's not like Vontaze Burfict in the NFL, who just can't play. He just figured, let me just try to hurt people. Almost at least can play a little bit. But he's not, he doesn't compare to Alex Ovechkin or Connor McDavid. This guy should be out of the league. NHL, shame on you.
I was going to say, like, just one more thing I just wanted to add, just putting in perspective, like, go to the NFL, like Josh Gordon, like, literally got, like, suspended, like, 4 or 5 times for substance, and that was just for recovery. Like, they were on his ass about that, and he really didn't put anybody in danger. And Wilson, what he's doing, and what we're seeing him do in games, and he gets nothing. Like, you just put the different kinds of standards, and you really look at the NHL is lowering the bar so much. It's kind of like embarrassing, and I don't think they understand that like there is such a difference. And if you let this slide now, it's gonna keep happening, and they're gonna have this problem every single year, every game, and it's just not gonna end. You have to set a bar. You have to.
Absolutely, yeah. This has got to stop. Anyway, moving on to the next issue, kind of similar to something we just talked about. The New York Rangers surprisingly fired general manager Jeff Gordon and team president John Davidson. As a Ranger fan, I was a little confused by this because, yes, they have not made the playoffs the last 2 years, but they have a very young team, and they have been undergoing a rebuild for a few seasons that I thought was going quite well. So, Robbie, what are your thoughts on this? Right move?
I was a little confused. I mean, I feel like I've been watching the Rangers for a while, and if anything, I would say they've been kind of on an uptick. Obviously rebuilding, but I think they got a couple of good pieces. I feel like they've been gelling well, and I think I don't know. When I heard about it, I was a little intrigued. I mean, who is going to take over? Do they know who's taking over?
Yes, Chris Drury, their assistant GM, was a player in the league for a while. He's taking over the president and the GM role.
So yeah, I don't even know who that is. I don't really know who that is, and this will be his first GM role.
He's a top GM candidate. I think he's definitely ready to be a GM, but like I'll let you finish. See what you have to say about this.
Yeah, I mean it's a big move to change that kind of office. Change the main office, at this point of the season. I think it could throw a curveball to the organization. It's a big deal when you do that, and it doesn't seem like it will be because the team is still the team, but I mean, different moves are going to be made, and that kind of move can change the whole dynamic of the organization. And I don't know what direction that's going to be headed in when you make an abrupt move. I don't know how long they were planning on doing this, or if they knew they were going to pull the plug on Gordon, but I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical, to be honest with you.
Justin, what do you think?
Okay. So as you guys know by now, I'm from New Jersey. And you guys can rip on the Devils all you want, but you guys can only can admit this. At least we don't have to deal with Jim Dolan screwing up our teams. The best
That is true.
The best thing that Jim Dolan could do is stay out of things. Just like look what he's doing with the Knicks. Look how great the Knicks are doing. He's just not involved. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused, Will, because by watching some Rangers games, I could tell they are doing well. It looks like they are going to be a playoff team soon, or closer than we believe. But firing the general manager and the president for something that's showing promise, I mean, it's not like they're going, like, for example, if they were going like 11-44 or something, then I could understand you firing them. But they're doing pretty well. And I just wish that, maybe Jim Dolan would think for a second. I know that's a little bit of a difficulty for him, but this just once again, I'll make a shirt of it one day. Jim Dolan, sell the team, sell the Garden, please, because all you do is when you get involved, just screw up franchises. That's all I have to say about it.
Justin, you're 100% right. The Rangers have historically been a very, very good organization. They draft well, they develop talent well. They make smart free agent signings. They're always competitive. They're always, a series anywhere from a playoff contender to a Stanley Cup contender. And you wonder how the Knicks been a train wreck for 2 decades because Dolan stays out of the Rangers. You never hear him talk about the Rangers. The Knicks, the last 20 years, for some reason, he decided, I have to be involved in every little thing. And now, he, for the most part, has stayed out of the rain next year. And look what happens. They're a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. Say what you want about how bad that conference is, but still, 4th in the East is 4th in the East. And also, the reason that and by the way, they said it was not related to the statement. You can say, that you can call BS all you want. I mean, that was the entire organization made that statement. Dolan had to be part of that statement. I can't imagine JD went on his own. JD and Gorton got together and Gorton called up JD hey, will I make this statement? And somehow not let the owner find out. No. First of all, the thing when the thing comes out, he's obviously gonna know about it. And I just don't see how Dolan wasn't a part of that statement. And second of all, you said the team was underperforming as the reason. If the team was underperforming, is that really the GM and the president? Think what they've put a good product on the ice. If anything, the coach, David Quinn, should go. And, you could argue that, he should be fired. Me as a Ranger fan, someone that's watching coach day by day, I'm not sold on him, though, because of how young this team is and how tumultuous to see him with the shortened season. I would give him another shot next year.
Wait, so Jake, did you just say his last name is Quinn?
David Quinn, yes.
Haven't you noticed that any coach named Quinn isn't that good?
I have, but
Dan Quinn.
but no, seriously, I'm not sold on him. There's a lot of negative Ranger fans out there that think, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I don't agree with that. So last year they would have easily made the playoffs if the season didn't get suspended. He probably would have won Coach of the Year if they made the playoffs if it wasn't for COVID. And honestly, they got off to a bit of a slow start after that. I thought they played very well. Their team is so young. They had a very, very tough schedule this year. Playing the Bruins and the Islanders and the Capitals, and all year those older were playing because of COVID and the truncated schedule, trying to limit travel. So I would give him a break. But if Dolan's problem is he thought the team underperformed because Davidson, who's was only I think his second year here, and this is a guy who the first thing he did when he got into office was call up his old friend from when he worked with the Florida Panthers, Tane Panarin, and gave him a contract, which is might be the best free agent signing the Rangers have ever made. He drafted Kakko, looks like a future star. He drafted Lafreniere, looks like a future star. I mean, did they add a lot other than Lafreniere this offseason? Not really, no. But yes, could they have added a couple more pieces? Could they have been a playoff team? Possibly, probably. But for a young team like this, there was no reason to go out and spend money on a veteran player that might get you to the playoffs for the next year or two, but won't get you a Stanley Cup. And if you're worried the team's underperforming, the coach should go, not Gordon and Davidson. But I do think Chris Drury is definitely going to be a great GM. I guess we'll see what happens. All right, moving on. Let's shift gears to the MLB. The Los Angeles Angels shocked the world, and they have designated future Hall of Famer first baseman Albert Pujols for assignment. You'd expect it to clear waivers probably in a couple of days, then he'll be free to sign anywhere. Robbie, what do you think about this move?
I mean, Pujols has been around for a damn long time. Like, I don't even appreciate how long he's been around. Like, literally, like I was like 8 years old and he was like in his like prime, but he's still like playing. What do I think about the move? I mean, hey, let me compare it to Brett Gardner on the Yankees. Probably came in the league around the same time. I think Brett Gardner is a great addition to the team because of the fact that he's a mentor. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot of playoff games. He brings that to the table, and he's a guy that, performs. I mean, when you're in the league for as long as that, you're dedicated to the sport. You're going to take hits for the team. You're going to, you don't care about getting hurt. You don't care about that. You're a longevity guy. And I think it's a great asset to a team. So this kind of move, kind of disrespectful, I feel like. I don't know. I feel like this, when I heard the news, I was like, I mean, this is a guy who is future Hall of Famer. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. And to not even midway through the season release them, I to be honest, I haven't read exactly what the reasoning for the release was. They felt he underperformed. I mean, I don't know what you expect. He's been in the league for a very long time. He's not in his prime. So yeah, I felt kind of disrespect for Albert Pujols, not gonna lie.
Justin, I know you're not a huge baseball fan, but what do you think? Do you think they should have cut him? Should they have kept him? What do you think?
I think because he had one more year in his contract, they should have kept him. I really do. I mean, just a quick fun fact for you guys. He came to the Angels a year after Mike Trout was a year Mike Trout came to the Angels. So, and at that time, he's been playing for 11 years. He was drafted in 2001. And during that time, he's made a very large name to himself. 10-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion. He won an MVP in 2004. He was the RBI leader in 2010. He had a lot of great things to his name, and no doubt in my mind will he be a Hall of Famer. And I think just keeping that veteran presence for these young talents, like yes, you could make the argument that Mike Trout is about 29. He's almost 30, but he's still. I mean, he could still learn a few things from Pujols, and I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Justin, it's Pujols.
Pujols, yeah, excuse me. Pujols, excuse me, Albert Pujols, yes. But you guys get what I'm trying to say. Even like Shohei Ohtani, I know it's completely different positions, but even he can learn something from him. But I do. But it's a shame that he left. I do wish him the best of luck, and I hope to see him in the Hall of Fame soon.
Yeah. I mean, okay. This guy, this guy was an absolute machine. His nickname is the Machine because he is a machine. In St. Louis, in 11 seasons in St. Louis, I think he was like a 10-time All-Star. He was a 3-time MVP, 2-time World Series champion. The guy is the only player in MLB history to have at least 30 home runs in each of his first 11 seasons. He had over 400 home runs with the Cardinals in 11 seasons. In 10 seasons with the Angels, that 10-year, $240 million mega contract did not really work out. He only hit 222 home runs compared to like 440 in Los Angeles. I think he only made the All-Star team like once or twice. Obviously, he's never won an MVP or never. Obviously, I think he may have went to the playoffs like maybe twice. He's been seeing obviously that's not on him. Now, I mean, the last few years he's been pretty washed. He's definitely at the end of his career. He's only hitting 198 this year with 5 home runs. So, but the guy's in his 21st year in the league. I think he's like 41 or 42 years old. This guy is ancient. I mean, this guy is ancient. It's the last year of his deal. I think it's his last season. There was a report that came out that it was his last year. then he came out and said, not so fast. I'm not sure yet, but I really think this is his last season. At the very least, have him be a power bat on the bench. Just a guy, to 30 home runs 11 times, and he, can still give you, 20 home runs. For guys only going to hit 200, 20 home runs is, not that good, but still, as a power bat on the bench, he could still bring you some value. So I ain't really get it. Let the guy finish out. But before we transition, let me ask both of you. First, I'll start with Robbie. Do you think someone's going to pick him up? And if so, who do you think that he will go to?
Yeah, he's getting picked up. He's definitely getting picked up. Who he's going to go to? It's a tough one. I mean, honestly, the Yankees love to draft guys way, way out of their prime. So I would not be surprised. And considering that we do need a first baseman because Luke Voigt is still out, I would not be surprised if he's in New York. Not going to lie. But other than the Yankees, that's tough to say who else would pick him up. But I would definitely say he's getting picked up. Somebody's taking this guy.
Justin, what do you think?
I can see him getting signed for maybe another 1-2 years, maybe. And I'm not really sure where he'd go, but I think it would be a really cool storyline if he went back to like the Cardinals. Just like one last ride. And like ends off his season there. May they retire his jersey if they haven't already. Because he has done so much there anyway. But once again, the Cardinals would be probably a good place for him to stay.
I would love to see him go back to the Cardinals. Another place that I thought originally would make sense would be the White Sox because they just lost two big bats in Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez. If the White Sox were to bring him in, by the way, the manager Tony La Russa managed him for most of his career with the St. Louis Cardinals, if not his entire career there. So obviously he knows the manager very, very well. Tony La Russa actually just said, unfortunately, he's not a fit for the White Sox. I'm not really sure about how much I agree with that. You put him at first base for DH, and you can move, Andrew Vaughn to the outfield, and put him at DH. But if and also with the Cardinals, he would have to be a bench player since they're a National League team and they got Paul Goldschmidt there. The Yankees, that could work. I could see him going to a team that either at this point in his career, he's definitely a DH. And at this point in his career, if I am a team, honestly, I think the Cleveland Indians would make sense. This is a team, they just trade, last year their offense was paltry. They decide, you know what, our offense was terrible. Let's trade our best hitter, Francisco Lindor. So obviously that's not going to help matters. Signing Eddie Rosario and, is definitely not going to solve things. But they're playing very well. They're in first place in the division right now. They're still a good team. And they got back two young shortstop, Jimenez and Rosario for Lindor. The pitching staff is excellent. If they were to sign him and they put him, you stick him at first base or designated hitter, I think that could give them a boost. So I think Cleveland would make sense. I say he either goes to Cleveland, St. Louis, or the White Sox. All right. Moving on, let's talk about the NBA. We are at the very, very end of the season. I see Justin smiling because this is definitely up his alley. We're in the last week or two of the season.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah, very end of the season. It's been a crazy year. Let's talk first before we get to the whole pick. Let's talk about the play-ins right now. And I'm just gonna pull up the play-ins on my cell phone.
I got it for you guys.
Oh,
I can
all right,
pull it
all
up
right.
for you guys.
All right.
Don't worry about it. Let me share here. Okay. So anyway, let's start off with the Eastern Conference real quick. So if you guys don't know, the play-in tournament is a tournament between seeds 7 through 10. And that would be obviously who's in it at the time the season ends, of course. So there's still about five or six games left for each of these teams. So some players like the Heat could potentially get out of the playoffs, potentially get out of the play-ins, and the Celtics could move down. But let's start off with the East first. We have the Miami Heat, the Charlotte Hornets, the Indiana Pacers, and the Washington Wizards. Now, if I think there's any two teams that are going to get out of here, it's the Heat and the Hornets, or even the Heat and the Wizards, because the Hornets have been doing quite well this year, especially with LaMelo Ball at the helm. I mean, he's been deadlifting that team. His back must be hurting him, really, from just carrying the Hornets to victory all the time. And then, but as for the Wizards, you have two very, very good guards in Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, who have both done exceptional this year, even though they've been on a very, very subpar team, and they've been pretty hot, as you can see. They've been 7-3 of their last 10, and of course, and the reason, and then onto the Heat. The reason why I say the Heat is because, I mean, I think the Heat are possibly one of the most underrated people in the Eastern Conference. Not the most, but one of the most. I think Jimmy Butler's underrated. I think Bam Adebayo is criminally underrated. I think, and as for Duncan Robinson, you can't give that guy any space, or else he'll just drain a three in your face like it's nothing. So I'm gonna say, so it's really tough for me to determine between the Hornets and the Wizards, but I definitely think the Heat will be up there. I want to hear what you guys think, and then we'll move on to the West.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys could definitely just help me out here, because I'm not like, I don't follow NBA religiously, but I definitely do watch it occasionally. So Justin, you're a Heat fan? Are you a Heat fan, or are you just wearing the shirt?
You know, I like the Heat. I
represent.
watch it with my family all the time. My mom is a huge Heat fan.
Okay. Justin's what I would call a basketball enthusiast.
Okay,
I am a basketball enthusiast.
Like,
I have a Damian Lillard jersey, a Kawhi Leonard jersey, a Kyrie Irving from the Celtics jersey, a Chris Paul from the Rockets jersey, a Harden from the Rockets jersey, a Harden and Kyrie Nets jersey, I know I have a Jimmy Butler jersey, which I'm wearing right now, and there should be more on the way very, very soon. I know I have a Rudy Gobert jersey and an RJ Barrett, and a Hardaway Jr. jersey at home as well, but those will be subject to change. Don't worry, RJ. Get me a free jersey, please. Thank you.
Yes, I mean, the reason I asked is because I know the Heat have Jimmy Butler, and he's, like you said, he's an underrated player. I mean, he was an underrated player when he was in Chicago, and I loved him. I loved watching Jimmy Butler. He's a real team player, really can gel a team together. So I like the Heat. To be honest with you, I mean, you got to get me updated on the Hornets and the Pacers, though. I mean, why do you not have the Pacers making it here?
All right, I'll step in. Okay, first of all, there is a lot of turmoil going on with the coach right now.
Okay.
Supposedly the players cannot stand this guy. I'll be surprised if he comes back. They are very banged up right now. Jeremy Lamb's been out. TJ Warren's not playing right now. I think, I'm bragging about a lot of injuries, and also I heard the players hate the coach. He's probably on his way out. By the way, I saw something on SportsCenter I actually didn't know how the format works. The 7 plays the 8 seed, and the 9 plays the 10 seed, and then the winner of the 7-8 seed clinches the 7 seed. The loser plays the winner of the 9 versus 10, and like whoever loses the 9 versus 10 is eliminated. And then the winner of the 7-8, and the loser of the 7-8, and the winner of the 9-10, they play a game, and the winner, if it's the 8 seed and the loser is eliminated. So
is this new?
Because of COVID this year and the shortened schedule, this is new.
But it's still gonna be 8 teams, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say coming out of the play-ins in the Eastern Conference, I'm gonna agree with Justin with Miami and Charlotte. I think Indiana's got too many injuries, a lot of turmoil in that organization. They can't stand the coach. I would be surprised if he's back next year. I've heard the front office is not on the greatest ground either. I heard the GM Shepard could go as well, so we could see a shakeup this all season. That's another story for another day. I think there's so much turmoil plus all their injuries. I don't see them getting. I mean, Wizards are hot right now. Kudos to Scott Brooks. couple weeks ago, I was saying this guy's a complete joke as a coach there, but he was able to get these guys together. They got 2 stud guards and Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, who finally were able, to mesh together and put together a bunch of wins and look like an actual basketball team. Besides them, there is nothing else around them. The Heat, they've had a lot of injuries and COVID issues this year. When this team is healthy, you could argue they're the biggest threat in the East besides Philly, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee, who are the clear-cut top 3. And Charlotte now, LaMelo Ball back. You got they have some other guys that can play. They got some good young players. Taylor Rozier's having a great year. PJ Washington, James Borrego's done a great job this year. To get Gordon Hayward back, that would be a huge plus.
And let's not forget, Bisoc Biombo, baby.
Let's also not forget the legendary Eric Collins, the announcer.
What about Frank Kaminsky? Is Frank Kaminsky still on that team?
No, I think he's on Phoenix. I'm not sure though.
Oh wow. Well, oh yeah. And let's not forget, Miles Bridges is actually doing pretty well this year as well.
Yes, I forgot about him. He's added like 20 points a game over the last month and a half or so. So yeah, I would take Charlotte and Miami coming out of the plans.
All right, let's move on to the West now. So the West, your seeding, your people in the plans currently are the Portland Trailblazers, the Golden State Warriors, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the San Antonio Spurs. First things first, can we move the Timberwolves up here, please? I think the Timberwolves and the Rockets should make the play-in. Oh yeah, they should be in it immediately.
By the way, once again, the Minnesota Timberwolves, just on behalf of Justin, you are very welcome for lighting a fire on you after a couple weeks ago. We asked what the heck is wrong with your team. You're very welcome.
Yes. A-Rod, when you become the owner of the team, after making, I don't know, I would say an impulsive buy after breaking up with Jennifer Lopez. You could shout us out for lighting a spark into Karl Anthony Towns and co.
By the way, Anthony Edwards, Alex Rodriguez, he's the guy who only one of the most popular athletes around. He played for the Yankees. He's kind of owner of your team now. That's who that is.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Anyway, so once again, it's the Portland Trailblazers, the Golden State Warriors, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the San Antonio Spurs. So I'm just going to make this one very, very simple. Trailblazers and Warriors. That's it. I don't think the Grizzlies really stand that much of a chance. I don't think the Spurs stand that much of a chance. The Trailblazers, for some reason, they just can never get themselves up out of the play-ins. For some reason, especially when they had such a big chance after LeBron James and Anthony Davis were out for what seems like an eternity. They should have been winning games, and they just can't get it together. But I still think that they have a lot of great players on the team. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, especially when that's your backcourt. Whew, you don't want to mess with that. You really don't. And then as for the Warriors, I mean, come on, it's Steph Curry. He can literally shoot the lights out whenever he wants to. And yes, they might not have a lot of weapons on their team currently, but they are still winning games off the back of Steph Curry because he does have that carry ability. I'm not sure if the Warriors will go far in these playoffs, but I definitely think they'll be able to win the play-in along with the Trailblazers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised to see the Warriors at 8. Is this the lowest they've been in the past 5 years? Right? It's got to be, right? Or what was they last year?
Last season, they're actually the worst. Because they had so many injuries and guys leave the team. They're actually the worst team in the league last year.
They finished last? No way.
Yeah.
Because Steph Curry broke his wrist, and
he was hurt.
and Klay Thompson was out.
So they had nobody.
And Kevin Durant decided, let's just go to the Brooklyn Nets for no reason.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, they still have Curry, so I feel like I can't be too worried about them at least making the playoffs. But I don't know. I don't know if I can see them making a long run. I mean, yeah, and I'm gonna need your help on this one, guys. I mean, what about the Grizzlies? I don't know enough about the Grizzlies. What's their shining moment? What's their reason to get in?
All right. I have to agree with Justin that Portland and Golden State come out of this. Portland, I mean, I don't think the coach, Terry Stotts, comes back next year. He just hasn't done a good enough job there. You got Damian Lillard, who's going to be 32. This guy's been to the Western Conference Finals, I think, once or twice. That's a travesty. TJ McCollum's an outstanding player. Yusuf Nurkic when he's healthy. You got you trade Gary Trent for Norman Powell, who's an absolutely outstanding player. Carmelo Anthony, my man Carmelo Anthony, who can still play, still a decent bench score, even coming up on his 37th birthday. This is a very good basketball team. They are really struggling, but I do think they come out of this. Golden State, Steph Curry is an MVP can. It's not just him. I know James Wiseman's out, but Andrew Wiggins can play. Kelly Oubre can play. Steve Kerr's got 3 championships for a reason. Memphis, there's a very young team. I don't think they have enough right now. John Morant, he's honestly taken a step back since his rookie year. Jaren Jackson, just made his debut a couple of games ago. There isn't much else there. Dylan Brooks is pretty good, but there isn't enough there in Spurs. Popovich has done so much for that organization. One of the greatest head coaches the NBA has ever seen. He's got 5 rings, but that team's that is such a young team, especially now that they got rid of LaMarcus Aldridge, of course, now since has retired because of a heart issue. But they got look at the players they got. You got DeMar DeRozan's really the only veteran presence there. After that, you're counting on guys like Jakob Poeltl and Derek White and Dejounte Murray. They're just too young of a team. If Zion wasn't hurt, I thought maybe the Pelicans, because they got Zion and Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, who actually is playing very well right now, could steal our spot with Zion out with his fractured finger, probably for the season. I think Spurs will get the 10th spot, but Memphis and San Antonio are just too inconsistent and too young. I'll take Portland and Golden State out of the Western play-ins. All right, so now let's shift gears to the actual playoffs. So Justin, who would you say are the top contenders for the NBA championship?
Great question. I'm going to start off with the West on this one because I think it's a little bit easier. I think that let me first say this. Whoever is saying that the Lakers are going to win a championship this year is what I like to call smoking the hallucinogenic honey. They really are. They are just. That is what is known as recency bias, which the definition literally is to where you show bias towards the team that recently won the championship. And in some cases, that is good. That can be a legitimate argument. However, this year it certainly is not the case. Especially with the amount of injuries LeBron James and Anthony Davis are getting this year. But I think that the 3 teams that I think can make it to a championship in the West are the Jazz, the Suns, and the Nuggets. Now you guys are probably now let's start off with the Jazz. The Jazz have some great players. Donovan Mitchell, I hope he comes off his injury soon, or is he out for the rest of the season?
He should be back, I would think, by at least by the playoffs.
Yeah, so if he comes back by the playoffs, I think he'll be really good. You have Rudy Gobert, who's an excellent player. You have Mike Conley, excellent player. You have Jordan Clarkson, excellent player, who I think could be up for 6th Man of the Year. So I think they're a great team. Then you go to the Suns. I mean, I'm pretty high on the Suns. I like the Phoenix Suns. I think if anybody deserved a ring, it was the players who did play for the Suns, like Steve Nash and Charles Barkley. But unfortunately, they did not win one. But you have players like Devin Booker and Chris Paul on this team that are just doing absolute magic on this team. And Monty Williams, the coach, give him some credit for being just an absolutely fantastic coach. And then the Nuggets. I originally thought that the Nuggets were going to be kind of screwed after Jamal Murray was out for the season, but they're actually doing very, very, very well. And it's all off the back of Jokic. And they also have some great players on there as well, like Facundo Campazzo and Shaq Harrison. They're doing some great. They are actually doing quite well this year. And you guys are probably wondering, Justin, what about the LA Clippers? Well, audience at home, let me tell you something about the LA Clippers. I don't trust them after last year's screw up, because I'm waiting for playoff Paul George PG-13% to come back and hit the side of the backboard on a clutch three-pointer about 7 times. And I know Kawhi Leonard can carry a team, but I just don't think they're gonna make it that far. So what do you guys think about the West before I move on to the East?
I mean, I was gonna touch on the Mavs a little bit because I'm a big Luka guy. Not gonna lie, and I see your guys' faces, and I see you're like holding your chest.
You're killing me.
Maybe I am. Maybe I like the Mavs. Maybe I like what they did with Dirk when they beat the Heat. Maybe I like that. Maybe I want that again. Maybe
Dirk was
maybe
a great
you know
player.
What's up?
Dirk was an excellent player. One of the best.
Unbelievable
Dirk.
shot. Unbelievable fadeaway. Because you didn't talk a lot about the Mavs, who are, I think, right in that mix. They're a good team, but also the Nuggets as well. I think I kind of like. I agree with you there. I also agree with you on the Suns. Time to get some respect for Phoenix. Charles Barkley never won a championship, which is ridiculous. He won an MVP, but he never won a championship. So I like Phoenix, but I don't know. I also think that the Lakers are still very much should be talked about. You can't really sleep on LeBron. Like, even though, like, his like fake quarantine championship, like, a lot of people like to not like say that it was real, but I still think he's like, I mean, he was just hurt, and I know he said something like, I'll never be 100% again, but he still is LeBron, and that team is still good. And if they can stay a little healthy enough, I think they can be in that mix for sure.
All right. I coming out of the West. I think. First of all, I'd like to apologize to the Denver Nuggets. I said a couple weeks ago that they're lucky to even get out of the first round. I apologize to the Denver Nuggets. They might even they have to get to the finals now. What a job they've done. Even with Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, I would give the MVP trophy to him right now. I think he's the MVP of the league. Michael Porter Jr., Jordan Clarkson, Jordan Clarkson. This team is an outstanding team. Look at the rest of the West. I would say Phoenix and Utah. I give them the edge over the Clippers, just because they got to get some guys out. Patrick Beverley, I think, is just getting back. Is just getting back. Don't give me Ty Lue on championship. I mean, as much as I don't like LeBron did carry that team. That was all LeBron and Kyrie Irving. Ty Lue did not have a shot. If Doc Rivers couldn't get past the second round, Ty Lue definitely can with this team. So, Phoenix, this team's amazing. Devin Booker and Chris Paul are unstoppable. Mikal Bridges is playing great. They got DeAndre Ayton. This is a great team. And Utah, once they got Spider back, even if they get him and Mike Conley back with Joe Ingles and Rudy Gobert and Jordan Clarkson, this is a team that can one of the most offensive teams in the country. They move the ball incredibly well. They play great defense. The coach Quinn Snyder is outstanding. I would say, and the Lakers, AD and LeBron are I don't even think are 50% healthy. AD really, he has not looked the same since coming back from the injury. LeBron wasn't playing very well. Now he's been out for a few more games. I don't see this team getting past the Western Conference Finals, actually, even if both of them are there. I don't think they're anywhere close to even 50 or 60% healthy.
Let's move on to the East now. So for the teams from the East, I think could make it there. Obviously, I'm gonna say the Nets because they just have a stacked team. They really do. I mean, I know a lot of their players are injured or constantly get injured. Kyrie, Kevin Durant. Well, guys, I think I just got something in my throat there. But James Harden's gonna come back, and he's an excellent shooter. He's confident to come back for the playoffs. And he's a great person to have in that backcourt, especially. And then there are also some good players on there, too, like Nicholas Claxton and Joe Harris. And then the 76ers also look very good with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons at the helm. I actually think they're doing very well. And just a quick fun fact for you guys, which is a slight reason why I want the 76ers to win the whole thing. If the 76ers win the championship this year, Danny Green will have the same amount of rings as LeBron James. He won 2 with Kawhi Leonard, one with LeBron James, and then if he wins 1 in Philadelphia, he will have the same amount of rings as LeBron James. So I think that's kind of funny. But what I really want to talk about in the East, which I find is very interesting, is that there are actually 2 sleeper teams here that I don't think to where people might be taking for granted here. Ladies and gentlemen, do not sleep on the Miami Heat, and definitely do not sleep on the New York Knicks. Because the New York Knicks are just doing so good. If Tom Thibodeau doesn't win Coach of the Year, the NBA awards are rigged. I mean, Julius Randle has had a breakout season. RJ Barrett has improved immensely from his rookie year. Derrick Rose is making a resurgence, I'm telling you. So you definitely have to watch out for that team for that team in the playoffs. And then the Miami Heat, I just talked about this earlier. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, Dragic, Tyler Hero, all great players. And mind you, they were the 5th seed last year, and they shocked the world when they beat the Bucks in 4 and 5. And on top of that, they even made the Los Angeles Lakers with a healthy LeBron and a healthy Anthony Davis. They made them go to 6 games. They made them work for it. They really did. So if there are any 2 teams that can really rise to the top here, I definitely think that you got to watch out for the Heat and the New York Knicks.
I was gonna say, well, first of all, the Knicks they're 4th. I mean, what would they have to do for something to go wrong? It feels like they're definitely in the driver's seat here in the East. And also another thing that I noticed is 4 out of 5 of the Atlantic is in the top 6 right now, which is kind of crazy, except for the Raptors. So a lot of representation on the East Coast, which is awesome. I like the Knicks, man. They're awesome as long as James Dolan stays out of their bid and lets them play. That would be awesome, like we talked about before. And then the Nets too. Obviously, we know the moves they made and the hype they bring. But personally, I definitely lean more on the Knicks side, and I also definitely lean on the Sixers side. Other teams, I mean, the Hawks and the Celtics are right there, but I don't really see them being in the mix. I think, like you said, I think the West definitely is more like you can kind of tell who's really gonna make it to the long run, but the East I think is a little more iffy. But I do like the Sixers, the Nets, and the Knicks. The Bucks, I mean, from what I've seen, I don't know how much Giannis can be a playoff player, but that's what a little bit of a Lamar Jackson syndrome there. But hey, this could be a breakout year. But yeah, shout out Sixers. Let's go Knicks.
Yeah, I'm gonna refer to episode 2 of our podcast when Will Pesic was on here, the head of it, when he said that that Giannis needs a 2. And you can definitely see it. Because let me tell you guys, if you guys think Chris Middleton or PJ Tucker is the 2 of that team, you guys are absolutely wrong. Let me tell you something. I have the league pass, and I used to watch the Rockets a lot because they did interest me with that team. And I can tell you for one thing, PJ Tucker does one of 2 things. He either fouls or hits the occasional corner 3. So Giannis, you're not enough to win the playoffs for your team. You're really not. But Jake, what do you think?
Okay, if the Brooklyn Nets do not win the NBA Finals, Steve Nash should be fired. Okay? This team has 3 amazing scores. They got Kevin Durant. If this team is healthy and they don't win the finals, Steve Nash should be canned. That'll be a bold statement, but the fact is, it's just a fact. Okay? Kevin Durant and James Harden are two of the greatest scorers the NBA has ever seen. They are both top 5 players in the game. Kyrie Irving, I can't stand him, but he is a great player. His handles are amazing. He's an outstanding scorer as well. As long as Kyrie has another superstar, he's a top 10 player in the league. They got Joe Harris, who's leading the league in three-point percentage. You got Bruce Brown's played very well at the bench. Jeff Green's played well at the bench. DeAndre Jordan's still a decent rim protector. Nick Claxton's a very good, stretch big man. This kid, Mike James, they picked him up the street. He's playing very well. He's got a second 10-day deal. Blake Griffin's a decent bench scorer, even though he's definitely fallen off from where he once was. This team has so much talent. They have to win the NBA Finals. And Justin, they better get to the finals, or you got that bet that you have to wear a Tom Brady cap.
Yes, I did say that if they do not make the NBA Finals, I am going to wear a TB12 cap for the rest of 2021.
Ooh, I don't know.
I do think they'll get to the final. If they don't get to the finals, the entire organization should just be torn apart. That would be a complete joke. If they're healthy, I want Nash out. I want Marks out. I want everyone gone. I want everyone gone if the Nets do not at least make to the final. If they don't win the final, if they're healthy, I think Nash should be out, because you think, the Lakers are there. The Lakers are there. The Lakers are like, if they're playing a video game, the health team would be like blinking nonstop. Like, they're gonna have nothing left. I think they're better than Utah. They're better than Phoenix. They're definitely better than the Clippers. They're better than anybody. They're better than Utah, especially without Jamal Murray. So all the teams in the East, I think Philly's an excellent team. I'm not a fan of Joel Embiid, but my God, he is a great player. Ben Simmons, who I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of the Sixers. Simmons can't shoot for his life. But like the perfect example of opposite day is him attempting a 3-point shot. But he is an amazing defender. He's extremely athletic. He gets to the rim. Great passer, great rebounder. He definitely can play. Doc Rivers is an amazing coach. I still don't agree with the Clippers letting him go, though Tyler is a decent coach and he's done a good job. I think Doc Rivers is a better coach. And they got some other guys too. Steph Curry is a great shooter. Danny Green's a decent player. Tobias Harris is an excellent player. Shake Milton's a very good bench scorer. I'll say those are for the top 2 teams in the East. I think Milwaukee's a good team. Giannis is an excellent player. Chris Middleton can play. Brook Lopez can't shoot the way he once was, but he's a great defender. Drew Holiday is an excellent player, very underrated player. Dante DiVincenzo's a good bench scorer. But and like Justin said, the Heat and the Knicks are 2 sleepers. The Heat, if healthy, this is basically the same team that was in the finals last year. And the Knicks, they're one of the best. They're the best defensive team in the league. They're very well coached. Julius Randle was on here. They got so many good young players. With RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, and Nerlens Noel has played phenomenal, and Reggie Bullock and Alec Burks have provided some scoring. Derrick Rose is played excellent. So
Prime D Rose is coming back, baby. We've been waiting 10 years for this.
Yeah. So if I were to rank my NBA championship contenders, I would probably say the Nets and Sixers out of the East. Out of the West, I would say mainly the Jazz and the Suns, but also the third team out of the West, I think, has a shot, probably the Denver Nuggets. All right, moving on to our favorite segment. You hate to see it. Oh.
Go, Jake. Come on, Jake. We're just doing all the bloopers. Are you okay?
Yeah, excuse me. I got so excited.
His life for the podcast. Sacrificing his body for the podcast.
I got so excited. I knocked my headphones off, and while trying to put them back on, I hit myself on the eye with it. Anyway.
10 out of 10. I hate to see it. All right, Robbie. All right, Robbie. So here's the. So here's how it goes, Robbie. So we're gonna show some clips, based from different sports. It doesn't really matter if you know the sport well or not, but it's just a bunch of fails and funny moments, or just some funny stories you read, and you're gonna rate 1 out of 10 how much you hate to see it. 1 meaning that you really don't hate to see it. 10 means you really hate to see it.
Got it.
However, if anybody gets hit in the groin, you can rate them over 10. How does that sound?
That sounds. I like that. I like that.
All right, let's get started. Jake, I'm assuming you have some stuff to show off first.
Damn right. Let's go. Okay, where is my screen? Here we go. All right. Okay. So okay. So becoming a head coach. Are you just losing in the right? Becoming a head coach in the NFL it's a big step. It takes a lot. Robert Saleh is definitely still getting used to being a head coach in the NFL. He's definitely, it's a new thing to him. Let's listen into this. Listen to this. This was a new one.
Yeah, Jay, we kind of can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear it. You hate to see that. You hate to hear that. I can't hear
Yeah,
it.
I hate to not hear that, really.
I apologize. There's something wrong with my headphones. I gotta fix that. Still working out the kinks. We're getting started. Though I think we've done a great job. I think we're on the greatest talk show of all time. But that's another story for another day. This is what the guy said. So the horn sounded for practice to be over. So what Robert Saleh did, he went on the field to take his spot behind the head coach, behind the huddle, and wait for the head coach to give orders. And then he goes, oh wait, that's me. He forgot that he's the head coach. Robbie, you hate to see this.
I mean, like, if there isn't already enough confusion in MetLife, okay, Saleh, you gotta listen. You gotta come into this program. I mean, I see videos of him on the Niners. He's getting fired up. He looks confident. You can't come here with your legs, crossed between you, like I'm so new to this. No, you know how to coach. Put your foot down, man. This organization literally was a dumpster fire last season. How can you be a buffoon? You can't do it. Like, look at it. He looks like a football coach. He looks great. This is not, you can't start like that. You cannot do that. You hate to see it. You know what? You hate to see it. I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10, man. Head coaching in football is big. Anything they say is big. Dan Patricia from the Lions, I mean, he literally said he would sacrifice his life, his players for the team. And this guy is having identity crisis. You hate to see it. 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. I mean, that is really, really funny. I mean, I kind of give him a little bit of credit because he's so used to being a defensive coach that he's kind of having some difficulty getting used to being a head coach. I guess he's just used to routine, but yeah, when you're the head coach, you're the head coach, and you just gotta and you gotta be there and just know who you are, when the second you are hired, and just never forget it. So 6 out of 10. I don't kind of hate to see it.
I'm gonna give this an 8. This was bizarre. Like, did you not remember like all the interviews that you did? Did you not remember the whole press conference that you gave? Do you not remember going on Carton and Evans and conducting an interview? Like, I guess he was just so used to it being a defensive coordinator his entire career. But this was a new one. This was bizarre. 8 out of 10. That is probably the most New York Jets thing ever. The new head coach, we finally think we have a coach, and the guy can't even remember like he's the coach. 8 out of 10 for me. All right, moving on. So going back to the Tom Wilson and Tony Panera and the Rangers Capitals issue. The Rangers were a little fired up the next game. The next game they played a back-to-back. That's pretty common in the NFL, teams playing back-to-back because of COVID. They want to limit travel. So, so this is what happened in the Ranger game. So opening face-off. The opening face-off. Look what happens. Opening face-off, 3 fights at one time. We got this one over here, this one over here. Got these two. Just and let's say you want to fight. Look at the 4 guys in the background. They're probably thinking like, what do we like? Should we fight? Or I think that's a Vanjad's like, Chara, you're twice my size. I can't fight you. And these 2 guys over here are like, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm just not a fighter. I just can't fight. And the Italian Capital's like, same man. I can't fight either. The last fun I had was when I was in 7th grade and I got my butt handed to me. So 3 fights figure off the opening face-off. But that's not all. Just a couple minutes later, this is what happens when Tom Wilson hit the ice. When he hit the ice, this is what happened. Hits the ice, all right, whatever. He stick handles, pass the puck. And he's immediately met by Rangers defenseman Brendan Smith, who's one of their enforcers, and they immediately get into the fight. I love to see that. I love Brendan Smith sticking up for his team. You're a star player. I'm gonna go after you. It's like sticking up to the school bully, basically. There's that. There's that, and that's not all. A couple minutes later, let's just rewind this. A couple minutes later, Ryan Strunk and Larzer. This is after Anthony Bitetto and Michael Raffle had a fight. So now we've already had 5 fights. All right, look at the clock. 15 minutes, 46 seconds. We're 4 minutes and 12 seconds in the game. We've already had 5 fights. So regular face-off. Here we go. And they're going again. The 6th fight in the first 5 minutes of the first period. Oh my God. The referees are probably thinking, all right, can we get on with this? Like, oh my God. And then look at this. Look at the Capitals penalty box.
I saw that. That's mad funny.
Look at this. Capitals have a combined 100 penalty minutes through the first period. Some teams don't. That doesn't happen in a week in the NHL anymore. Robbie, how much do you hate to see this?
Dude, so I saw that picture on Twitter of all the guys in the box. I was dying laughing, and I didn't really understand why. And then I'm watching this, and I'm saying, "Wow." I mean, we talked about Tom Wilson and how terrible it is for the league, but not gonna lie, this is a nice little benefit. We get to see a little fight back by the Rangers. I love it. I hate to see it level, man. I actually love to see it. So that would mean that this is a 1 or a 2. I'm gonna give it a 1. I love to see it. I love to see it. I love hockey in its natural element. You know, no dirty fighting, just natural. You know what? Let me rough you up. You're gonna rough our guys around. I'm gonna rough you right back. Gritty. I love it. I love it.
Justin?
I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10 because I'm taking off 2 points because I really don't hate to see Tom Wilson getting body slammed because it serves you right after doing that to Panarin. But combined 100 playoff minutes in the first period. That is a 1 1/3 games that have been combined in penalty minutes alone. So I mean, here's the thing. I know that fighting is part of it, but when you reach the point where you have 100 penalty minutes in the first period, there's the game and then there's overkill. 8 out of 10. I hate to say it.
I'm gonna agree with Robin. I'm gonna go for 1. I miss fighting in the NHL. Hockey is not hockey without fighting. I miss the fighting. I love to see it. You know, this was hilarious. The Capitals had 8 guys in the box at one time. I'm surprised they ain't but Peter Laviolette on the ice.
Yeah, that's some pretty bad social distancing.
Yes, it is. Yeah, they really didn't have any social distancing. And the Rangers box wasn't any better. The Rangers had 5 guys in the box as well. No, that was funny. I love to see. Good for you, New York Rangers, for sticking up for the dirtiest team in the NHL. Thank you, Brad Pitt, for sticking up to the dirtiest player in the NHL who just injured our star player. I love to see it. I'm giving it a 1. Moving on. Okay, this was bizarre. It was very bizarre. Trying to click on it. There we go. So the Oakland Athletics starting pitcher, Jesus Luzardo, you see he's out for fractured finger. You're like, all right, it's for what? Okay. This man injured his did not just like bruise his finger. He fractured his finger prior to his start against the Orioles. Surprise, surprise. He only went 3 innings. He got rocked. Playing a video game. This man fractured his finger playing a video game. Robbie, I see your face. How much do you hate to see it?
Like, what game was he playing? That's what I want to know. Like, is he trying to hide it? Like, is he playing some like weird game? Like, I don't understand. Like, what physical expectation is there? Like, was he playing Rocket League? Like, I don't understand. He never played it. I mean, this is just absurd. Like, I genuinely read this and I'm like, all right. I mean, even if he's playing like Wii takes a lot of like physical, you gotta, maybe he hit his hand on something, but who's playing Wii? Who, like, Wii's are just, it's old. Like, there's no game that I can think of. I mean, maybe he was playing virtual reality. Maybe he wants to say that. Maybe he's not specifying. He was playing some boxing game or he's playing the sword game and he wasn't looking and he hit his hand. Either way, it's just ridiculous. Like, what? Hate to see it, man. I gotta give this like a 9. This is ridiculous. 9 out of 10. I hate to see this.
Justin?
As a gamer, as you guys don't know this, or if you guys don't know this yet, I'm a gamer. We already expressed this in the story when I was playing Friday Night Funkin'. And I tend to get heated at video games a little bit, especially when I'm playing Overwatch. I'm trying to get on that grind. But my theory is he was probably playing as himself on the show and just got really mad after he threw like 20 balls. he hit like 6 pitches and he just like punched his hand against the wall. Like, that's the only thing I could really guess. What? This is a Kyrie move. This is something that Kyrie Irving would get injured for. 10 out of 10. I hate to see it, but I also gotta be honest with you. This has got to be one of the funniest baseball stories I've heard in a while.
Okay, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10 as well. Come on, brother. You can't be injuring yourself playing video game. I mean, what game were you playing? What were you playing, Fortnite, and you're doing one of those dances? And you bang your finger on the wall behind you? Like, were you playing 2K and you didn't get a foul called against you? Justin can relate, and you're like, God damn it, you punched the wall or something? Like, what? How do you get hurt playing video games? I don't understand. 10 out of 10. And now this guy might be out like this guy. It says he's gonna be out longer than at least 10 days for sure. Like 10 days the minimum. He's gonna be out longer than the minimum. That is a complete joke. Come on, man. 10 out of 10. All right, I got one more. The screen sharing icon is in the way. I'm having how I move this thing out of the way.
Just X out on top and with the tabs.
X out on the top.
X out to the one to the Capitals Rangers.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm sure you guys are familiar with bat flips.
Yeah.
But this was ridiculous. Okay. Before you guys, it's not like he didn't like pop up to a center fielder. Like, that would have been even funnier, but this is all we got. Okay, so this is not even a main race. It's a minor league game. So we got this guy, whoever the hell this scrub is. So, all right, here comes the pitch. Boom, no doubter, and oh my God! Let's rewind this. Look how high the bat is. Like, what on earth? Robbie, how much do you hate to see it?
I'm like genuinely confused. Like, I'm like, this man is lucky that he did not take out an entire family watching the game. I hope there was no fans in there because all of them probably literally ran out, left the game. If there wasn't any fans, they all left because they thought this guy was attacking them. Like he got so excited, he thought, oh yeah, you know what? Let me just send this big piece of wood into the air. Like this, I think it actually bat flipping has gone too far. He officially took it too far. It's like when there's a joke and it's funny, and someone takes it too far and it's not funny. He did that. He just ruined bat flipping. I'm so happy no one got hurt, but I hate to see that. I hate to see it. I don't like that. I'm gonna give that an 8 out of 10.
Justin?
Ooh, I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. That was funny. That was funny. I mean, that is like a way to flex like I've never seen it. Throwing not only flexing your hitting skills, but you're also flexing how high you could throw a bat. And I mean, yeah, he could have really hurt somebody there. 7 out of 10. I hate to see it.
I'm gonna give it a 10. All right. So this guy's in the minor leagues. He's been working to get into the major leagues his entire life. He's whatever, 20 years old, whatever. His entire 20-year life, whatever. He thinks chucking a bat as high. He's chucking a bat as so high that it nearly hit God himself in the head. That's gonna get him called up. Oh no, guy. Like, I love bat flip. I love it, I love a good bat flip and a good scuffle. But this was just immature and ridiculous. 10 out of 10. The poor Clouds. He probably like the poor Cloud probably chopped the Clouds in half. Like, no wonder it looks like the skies are so clear in this picture, because the clouds all like got freaking mauled by this bat. 10 out of 10. Very immature by this guy. Come on, man. You can't be doing that.
Maybe in his mind, there's actually 6 tools in baseball, and the 6th one is bat flipping. And he said, you know what? I'm actually a 6-tool guy. And then he just took it too far. He's probably going to get bumped down now to the lower league farm team now. He just completely destroyed himself.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Justin, you're up. Justin, you're muted.
Hey, muted.
Yep. I know. Great start.
I was wondering. I was like, are my headphones not working or something?
Yep. Nope. It's just me. Anyway, so let's get started here. So first things first, Trailblazers Hawks. So Damian Lillard misses a shot. Trae Young just snipes Bogdan Bogdanovic in the face. What is it? It looks like he fell. So that was already bad enough, but legendary strike. Oh, poor Bogdan Bogdanovic. How much you hate to see it.
I mean, listen, it's funny. That I think is why I like this. It's just funny. It just looks ridiculous watching it. Let me watch it one more time. I mean, it just, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what happened, because this just looks too, like, it doesn't look real. So he comes up and you hate to see it. It's just, I feel bad. It's just, it's almost embarrassing. I feel bad. You hate to see it. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10.
I'm giving this an 8. I mean, Bogdanovic, like what the heck? Like, you're running up the court and you fall? How clumsy can you be? This guy's a veteran NBA player. This guy like does like a phone, I can't get up on the basketball court. Trae Young makes a perfect pass, and then this guy slips, and he's like, "Oh no, I slipped. Let me, trying to grab as quickly as possible." And as soon as he lifts his head, he takes a basketball off his head. He's like, she's probably thinking, "Oh no, I'm gonna be on You Hate to See on Jake and Justin in the morning." 8 to 10. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I mean, that's just really funny, especially because you could see him trying to get up only to take a basketball to the face. But I just take a 1 point because he gets up and he just and he just is smiling. He's taking it like a champ. 9 out of 10. I hate to say it. Next clip. Mavericks, Nets. So let's watch this. So Mavericks have the ball. Goes over to Luka. Dorian Finney-Smith just hits the cameraman. He just decides to do a nice Olympic dive into the cameraman. Talk about a close-up shot. Talk about a close-up shot. Talk about a close-up shot. How much do you guys hate to see that?
I mean, he literally got him in 4K, essentially, not to be punny there, but he literally got him in 4K. If I'm the camera guy, I'm hauling this big camera, trying to get my awesome shot, and I literally just get body checked. Like, I'm probably like this poor guy. Look at this. I mean, he gets I mean, literally, and he was coming in fast. Like, that hurts. That definitely hurts. Yeah, you hate to see it. But you know what? That's what it comes with, being on those sidelines. You always got to be ready. You hate to see it. I don't hate to see it. I think this was kind of cool to watch. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it an 8. My guy, the cameraman is like the only reason that we can watch the NBA games on TV. You want to be famous? Okay, well maybe it's not a good idea to like spear the cameraman. Like this poor guy. This poor guy is trying to film the game. His body is a bit, and then he sees a 6'8" jacked human being just like doing a frog sledge off the top rope into him. He knocked off his glasses. And then he's shaking up. Now his camera might be broken. He's gonna get a new camera. It's all bruised up. And then to get a band-aid when he goes home. It's still, we got still another quarter left. He's gonna be in pain for the rest of the game. Matt, it's hard to lift his arm. He's gotta hold this big camera. 8 out of 10. Come on, Dorian Finney-Smith. Don't do the poor cameraman like that.
My rate's gonna match his jersey number. 10 out of 10. I hate to say it. Moving on. This is exactly why I don't have a lot of faith in the Wizards making it into making out of the play-in. So here we go. Another Mavericks game. Wait, let's watch that again real quick. So let's watch this. Russell Westbrook just taps it into his own basket.
Justin, can you play it again? It's a little bit laggy.
Okay, I'll play it in like slow motion so you guys can really see it here. Because you can't really hate to see it if you can't really see it. So it's 0.5 this. So here we go. So given over to Finney-Smith, not by the cameraman this time. Missed the 3. Westbrook taps it, and it just goes into his own basket. Robbie, how much you hate to see it?
I mean, it's just like, it's almost like just like unfortunate. Like, Westbrook's like thinking, all right, let me tap it back, get a quick rebound, we'll get the ball going, get the momentum going the other way. And it's just like, you just get unlucky. Sometimes you just get unlucky. I remember when I was a kid, we were watching one of the rec games, and this kid, he was bouncing, he was going around, and then he went the wrong way and scored on his other basket. Like, that was like almost on purpose. Like, that's embarrassing. This is more just like a genuine mistake. Like, can't blame anyone. Like, not really a stupid play. It just sucks, and you hate to see it. I would be like embarrassed if I did this. So I'm gonna have to. I feel for him. I hate to see it. 8 out of 10.
I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. Poor Russell Westbrook. This guy is an underrated player. This man is an absolute beast. He's not an amazing three-point shooter, but he's a very good scorer. This guy is averaging a triple-double. He's averaging 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. He's a triple-double king. This guy's the most athletic point guard I've ever seen. He's an absolute beast. I think he's a top 10 player in the NBA. First off, he had, in the starting lineup, they called him, Isaiah Thomas, not the Hall of Fame player, Isaiah Thomas. He had the thing, I think he missed a wide open layup. Now he taps in his own basket. Oh, poor Russ. 10 out of 10. Poor Rods. This guy can't catch a break this year.
Yeah, he really can. He moves to a really bad team, and he's having such a great year, only to have unlucky things happen to him like this. 10 out of 10. I hate to see it. Final clip. Trailblazers Celtics. So when we first start off with this, let's see if I can really get to the part where I want to be right here. Okay, so here we are. So Marcus Smart and Yusuf Nurkic clash into each other, but Yusuf Nurkic is in a lot more pain than Marcus Smart is, and you know where he's grabbing. Let's watch this in replay for what we could really see here. Well, let's try to get a good look here. So, wait, do we get a different angle, question mark? Oh, yeah, here we go. Right here. So, let's see who did it. Marcus Smart just reaches. His elbow just goes right there. Oh, let's see it again. Oh, and he fell. And the reason why Marcus Smart fell is because Nurkic fell on him after Marcus Smart hit him in the nuts. Robbie, I see your face. How much you hate to see?
Well, looks like a basketball is the only balls he's going to have for the next 20 years of his life, essentially. That is terrible. That is literally anything to watch. Oh, why is his hand like hanging? Why did he do that? He was using it like a freaking weapon. He sliced right in between the male parts there and the undercarriage, and it's like, oh, I can't watch it. Like, this is horrible. Like, this is because you don't see it at first. You wouldn't think it until you see the replay. So I'm thinking, all right, they just collided into each other. But no, he took his manhood. He took everything from him. And I mean, like you told me before, I can go over 10, and I think I absolutely will have to go ahead and use that rule for a nice big 12. Poor man. He's all right. He looks all right. I think he's all right. He's fighting for his life. I'm not gonna lie. He was definitely fighting for his life, fighting back some tears. 12 out of 10, man. And then this guy, he's got Marcus Smart's got a smirk on his face. But 12 out of 10. Hate to see it.
Okay. Sorry. I'm giving this an 85 out of 10. Marcus Smart drew some nuggets sitting a screen. Marcus Smart was guarding TJ McCollum. TJ McCollum, and for some reason, he was like going like this to like try to like guard him, and for some reason he didn't see a 7-foot man standing in front of him, and his elbow just boom right into his balls. Marcus Smart, this is the guy who like forgot the shot clock, or we like chucked a half court shot. He forgot the shot clock reset after he get a rebound or whatever. Oh my god. this poor man. Oh, 85 out of 10. Come on, Marcus Smart. Stop being so stupid.
Nothing more to say here. Prayers up for Yusuf Nurkic. 270 out of 10. I hate to see it. All right, let's move on to everybody else's favorite segment. Jake and Justin's athlete of the week. So, Jake, who is your athlete of the week?
All right, Justin. I told you a certain person. A couple of days ago. I've had change of heart. 5 years ago today, one of the greatest moments in sports history happened. I'm just gonna pull it up real quick. 5 years ago today, the one, the only Bartolo Colon with hits a home run. Bartolo Colon, starting starting pitcher. The guy was at the time he was 42 years old. The guy played in the American League for a very long time. As you can see, he's not exactly in peak physical condition. He's quite overweight. You can see like his his upper body shakes when he runs, and so he had never hit a home run in his career. He had been playing for over 20 years, 42 years old, and he hits a home run. The entire Mets dugout vacates the dugout. They all went into the clubhouse. He gets the silent treatment. He walks in the dugout, and here they come. The man known as Big Sexy finally gets to celebrate with his teammates. Oh my God. What a moment. Bartolo Colon, the world misses you. I think the New York Mets should sign him. And I think he should be their starting shortstop. I think Francisco Lindor could use a day or two off. I think they should sign Colon, put him at shortstop. I mean, he'd probably be the best hitter on the Mets anyways right now. Bartolo Colon is my athlete of the week. Happy anniversary, Big Sexy.
The peak of that athletic male performance right there. Male athletic performance. All right, let me pull up my clip for athlete of the week, or my picture, I should say. So, once again, I think I ran over this a little bit quickly last week. I'm a big fan of esports. And I'm a big fan of the Overwatch League specifically. I'm a massive Overwatch fan. And a quick backstory. The Dallas Fuel have been one of the worst teams in the league. And for some reason, they're having a breakout year to the point to where they beat the back-to-back champions, the San Francisco Shock, 3-0 in a series of 5. In a 5-game series, which is just absolutely insane. So Dallas Fuel, you are my athlete of the week. Good luck in the May Melee in the tournament today. You play the Shanghai Dragons, or at least that's what it says on my screen. So good luck, and you are my athlete of the week. Even though you guys are the Paris Eternal, just moved into Texas, which I am very, very upset about because I am a Paris Eternal fan. But no hard feelings, guys, for leaving my team. But good job, guys.
All right, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Robbie, thank you for coming on. You were a fantastic guest.
This is great.
To all of our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Justin and I are trying to get our names out there as radio show hosts. I think we're doing a great job. I'm sure you all would agree. I'm the one. Follow the real Jake and Justin on Instagram. Let's get that followers count up so we can get our name out there so the entire world can see how amazing of a talk show we are. Have a great rest of your day, and so long for next week.
And also follow Robert Finizio on Instagram. Thank you so much for coming on, Robbie.
Oh, guys, this is awesome. Thank you for having me. Seriously, anytime you want me on, I'm there. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh yeah, it was great to have you.
Good.
Anyways,
Absolutely.
guys, have a great rest of your morning. Peace out.